Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Black Women in Corporate America with your host, Nicole S. Palmer. I know I'm on camera now, it's insane. Definitely trying to get more comfortable in front of the camera. I personally like to be behind the camera myself. That's why y'all get all of these sound bites and voiceovers rather than on camera. But I'm trying to get comfortable, and the only way to get comfortable is to practice. So this is, I feel like, on brand, the evolution maybe of where I'm headed next. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Welcome back to another episode of Black Women in Corporate America. I have a lot to unpack today, so let's jump in. One of the benefits of doing a solo podcast, or solo episodes, I should say, because if you've been following any of my platforms, you know that won't be the case for much longer, because I do have some upcoming guests that will be featured on some upcoming episodes, which I'm really excited about. I suspect the first guest will be probably closer to April or maybe the tail end of this month, but stay tuned, more details to come. So a few housekeeping items before we jump in. First and foremost, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe my podcast, my channel on YouTube, Nicole S. Palmer. Really easy, my full name, middle initial, last name. So Nicole S. Palmer on YouTube. Definitely check me out on LinkedIn as well. I do have not just my LinkedIn profile, but I have a showcase page, Black Women in Corporate America. I will be doing more regular updates because I know I haven't been, but that is going to change. Again, just really trying to work on consistency, right? That's really the key, and we're going to talk about that later. But first and foremost, please like, share, and subscribe. Please submit a 5-star rating on my behalf on Spotify. Pretty please and thank you. Currently 5-star rated podcast. Yes. So let's keep that momentum going. Let's keep the visibility up and spread the word, please. Sharing is caring. I say this all the time. So please help me spread the word about this podcast. Please help me continue to bring you great content and just keep the movement going. Y'all know I'm on a mission this year to make this my last year in corporate America. Fingers crossed. Again, actually not fingers crossed. Prayers up, because y'all know how I feel about faith and God and all of that. So my prayer and hope and expectation is that this 2025, the year of Nicole, if you didn't know, yes, 2025 is the year of Nicole. So if somebody didn't tell you, I'm breaking the news. So super excited because so many great things are happening. So because my goal is to make this my last year, I need your help to do that. And you can do that by subscribing to my YouTube channel, subscribing wherever you find me, specifically YouTube and also any other channels you have. But YouTube is at the top. And the reason is because y'all know YouTube monetizes your content. And that will definitely go a long way to helping me escape corporate America. So whatever y'all can do to make this my last year, let's please make this a group effort. Simply watching the content, sharing the content, subscribing, that really goes a long way. So please do help a sister out, support a Black woman, that would be super helpful, super amazing if you could help me by subscribing to this platform and liking and sharing the content, please and thank you. Another quick housekeeping item, still on track. The paperback for Playing the Game while Black Women in Corporate America drops June 21st. Yes, that is definitely happening. I am actually in the process of laying that out right now. You may or may not know, I do all of the things. So I know that there's a saying that says, jack of all trades, master of none. This girl here, Jill and master of all trades. Yes. Yeah. So I write the book. I lay the book out. Yes. All of the things. And why? Because I can. Yes, I could definitely hire someone to do this, but it's what I love to do. It lights me up. So I definitely can do the thing. I can bring home the bacon and fry it. So yeah. Currently working on laying out the book in paperback form. I'm super excited about that, releasing the book. There will be an event related to the release, so stay tuned for that. I'll have more details next month. I'm still finalizing a few things like the venue and all of what it's going to entail. So stay tuned for that, okay? Because there's some good stuff coming out. So keep that in mind. Also, as you may or may not know, I am the editor-in-chief and founding partner of Delnick Media. We're an independent publishing company that amplifies diverse and underrepresented voices. So that is our mission. Our mission is to amplify underrepresented, marginalized voices and to share engaging stories. And we do that through a number of ways. Books, podcasts, you name it. When it comes to media, we're out there. We're out here. We're actually in the process of negotiating a couple of other acquisitions that we're super excited about. But for now, that stays under wraps. More on that later. But yeah, we can't wait to share those with you because they're going to be pretty major for us. But in the meantime, if you do have a book that you want to publish, we can absolutely do that for you. If you don't know by now, I am a best-selling author and I am also a publisher. We have a publishing company, which is Delnick Media. We would love to share your book, especially because, again, we're all about telling those underrepresented and marginalized stories. We want your voice to be heard. We want to be a voice for the voiceless, and we want to help you, as I am wanting to do with my book, to help you tap into your powers. We don't believe in empowerment. And that's just a personal preference because empowerment implies you have no power. And as I say all the time, I'm not here to give you power. I'm here to help you tap into your power. That's what it's all about. And that's what we're all about here at Delnick Media. So if you have a book that you want to put out there, you have a story and you don't maybe know where to begin, I can help you with that too. We can definitely help you here at Delnick Media. I would love to have you have the same level of success that I'm having so far, and it's been an awesome year, and I would love to do that for you. So if you want more information, please email info@delnickmedia.com. Lots more exciting things to come. If you don't know about us and want to learn more, please visit delnickmedia.com. There's some good stuff in there, guys. Some really good stuff. Also, I know this is a long housekeeping items list, but I have a lot of stuff to catch you all up on. Also wanted to give you a heads up that we are going to launch a crowdfunding campaign for Delnick Media, and we have lots of exciting bonuses and incentives if you support Delnick Media. We will be doing a pre-launch, so look out for that because it's your opportunity to state your interest if you want to learn more about our organization and what we do and what we offer. So definitely sign up for that because we're going to have routine and regular updates. So check out for that because that's pretty exciting. Also wanted to let you all know, if you haven't already, Tales of the DMU is in full swing. That is our serialized story arm. So you're going to find lots of really cool stories there that come out a week at a time. We have right now Terrace Tales, which features yours truly and my husband. So this is all around. It's fictionalized, of course, but all of the stories actually happen, guys. So anyway, that's all I'll say. You have to go check it out. We also have Sienna Bailey, which is our best performing story. And I'm not surprised because I loved writing it. It's very dear to my heart. It's all about the adventures of Sienna Bailey. And it's really the prequel, so to speak, to the book Sienna Bailey and the Lost Locket. And so please go check it out. If you are on the fence, not sure if you're ready to buy Sienna Bailey and the Lost Locket, that will definitely give you a great taste of what you can expect. So if you're interested in learning more about Sienna Bailey and getting a taste of what you can expect in the full-length story, Sienna Bailey in the Case of the Lost Locket, definitely go check out Tales of the DMU in Delnick Media. So I'll put, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put a couple of links in the chat in regards to that so you can learn more information. I think that's the extent of housekeeping items. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but those are the main ones that I wanted to talk to you all about. There might be one more, but I'll come back to that. So, happy Women's History Month. As you may or may not be aware, this is Women's History Month and we're out here celebrating. So, shout out to all of the women who are out doing the thing. You're amazing. You already know that. I'm not telling you something you don't know, but here's your reminder in case you haven't heard that today. You're amazing. Okay? Keep doing your thing. So, today, what I really wanted to focus in on is circling back to what I said initially about one of the perks of having a solo venture is that I get to determine what to talk about. So that makes it nice. And so if there's something that comes up that's like either ripped from the headlines or something that has been on my heart, I can share it because that's the perks of being the boss and being your own boss. So there were a couple of things I definitely wanted to talk about. So you guys have already heard me toot my own horn a few times about the Reader's Digest cover and also about, everything that happened with Yahoo, the Yahoo of it all and all of that fun stuff. So if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, please go check out last week's episode where I talk all about it. Should be somewhere up there. You'll see a little card up there telling you to go check out the related link. So, a lot has happened since then, and there's quite a bit that I would love to cover, and I know we don't have time, so we're gonna have to get into it the next week. But today I really want to focus on, I think really what I want to focus on is consistency, because I think that's super important. And one of the things especially that I've learned throughout this journey as an author, as a writer, as all of the things that I'm trying to do, especially in this new kind of at the cusp, or I kind of feel like we're at the precipice of something really big. Our company, Delnick Media, we're trying to do something revolutionary, and we'll talk more about that later. I'm not going to get into it right now. But what I think is one of the key ingredients, and that is something that is very apropos, very fitting to everything that I do and everything that I talk about, which is Black Women in Corporate America, which is the book Playing the Game. And there's a thread in there. And I think there's this thread and this idea where we have this idea, right? We have this dream or this vision, like, I really want this to come to light, or I really want to work on this because I believe in it. And I think that's super important. You have to have a goal, you have to have a vision. But I do believe that in order for you to execute on that requires consistency. And that to me is so, so important. And I look at all of the things that I have done over my life, whether, big or small, I have seen success, not just because I show up, but I keep showing up. That's really the key. You have to keep showing up. So it's not enough to just show up once and think, oh, well, I did it the one time so that people will still keep coming back. That's not how it works. You have to keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up and show people that you're serious about this. And then they feel that there's a level of trust because now you're showing up for yourself. And now they're willing to show up for you. And so that's what I really want to stress, especially if you're dealing with challenges in corporate America. Consistency is so key. And it doesn't matter what is happening around you. What matters is your consistency. And I think back to my last toxic job where I was, and all the things that happened, and the fact that in the span of the time I was there, I had 7 supervisors and the first set weren't in the last department that I was in, but the last 4 were. And so one of the things that I really want to take away, and that I would love for you to take away, especially if you're facing some of these challenges as a Black woman in corporate America, you have to be the constant. And it doesn't mean you do everything they say, you be a yes person, all of that stuff. We're not going to get into that today. What I'm saying is that your true north is your true north. You have to be the person of character, and you have to keep doing who you are and being who you are. Because that's one thing that I will say is that so many managers came and went, during my time there, and I was still there. I weathered through the storm and all the changes that happened. Granted, at the end, I had to make a choice to leave, but there is something to be said for being consistent. So I say that to say that it doesn't just apply to like, oh, I'm going to keep writing every single day, or I'm going to set this goal for myself where I'm going to do this one thing every single day over and over. It applies to every aspect of your life. I think back to where I would have been if I had started doing this YouTube or whatever the case is. If I had begun doing it even 5 or 7 or 10 years ago, where would I be today? And despite that, I'm still grateful for the lessons, because I know that my experience right now, what I'm able to share, would not be as rich if I hadn't gone through what I went through. Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to go through a level of hell in order to help someone else who is about to go through that same hell. Either help them through it, help them avoid it. And I really believe that a lot of times the lessons that we learn are not just for us or even meant for us. They're meant for someone else. And that might sound really pie in the sky, fortune cookie-ish, but I really do believe that. And I know that I would not have birthed Playing the Game While Black Women in Corporate America. I would not have birthed that book without going through the hell, without going through the turmoil and through all the circumstances I went through. So I want you to keep that in mind, because you may be thinking, oh my God, if I had done this, if I had done that, then I would be here and here. And I do it too as well. But I say that as a reminder that where you are today is where you're meant to be, whether you believe that or not, or whether it seems like that or not. Know that you're going to be able to look back and use whatever happened today as a stepping stone for your next thing. And again, big believer in that. So all of the no's, all of the rejections, all of the ghosting, all of the things that happen, even if they happen today, and I certainly still have that experience today. Fun fact. Even through all of that, you have to remember you're the constant. And so that's really what I want to drive home today. No matter what other people are doing, no matter if other people are not being consistent with you, if other people are not showing up for you, you be the constant. You be consistent. It doesn't matter if one day people love you, one day people don't. It doesn't matter if they don't, they like you, you like your comments one day, the other day it's crickets. You keep showing up. And you're not showing up just for them. You're mainly showing up for yourself. You're reminding yourself that you matter and that what you're doing is important and there's value. And you keep showing up for yourself. No matter if anyone does or doesn't, you have to show up for yourself. Just like I talk about believing in yourself, because you are the one sure thing. I'll put that on a t-shirt tomorrow. Like real talk. So keep believing in yourself, keep showing up for yourself, keep being that constant, and you're going to see things shift. You're going to see things open up for you, because that's what I'm seeing for myself right now. It's not just about betting on myself. It's about being grateful. It's about being consistent. And that's what I'm doing, is being consistent. I'm still working on being on camera and being comfortable, but we're going to get there one step at a time. But being consistent is everything. It is everything, because it ties into your authenticity and your integrity, which are two super important things. And you have to have integrity and authenticity in order to be consistent. They just go hand in hand, in my opinion. Even as you think about applying the principles and concepts I talk about in my book, because I talk about all these different ideas and notions, and I do 100% believe that you really can't bring your whole authentic self to work, which seems very contradictory given what I'm telling you right now. Two different concepts and ideas, but I also want you to keep in mind that there are levels of authenticity you can share. So from my perspective, I don't see it as being dishonest or disingenuous. I see it as only sharing parts of yourself. And this is what I talk about when I say the importance of emotional detachment. You don't have to give all of your essence and who you are to work. In fact, I recommend against it, especially in traditional corporate America, just because it takes so much and it's draining, and it doesn't give a whole lot in return, save from your salary and benefits. Not saying that there aren't exceptions to the rule and that there aren't some great organizations out there, but we have to be so mindful of how willing we are to be 100% emotionally invested and tied to a job. It's why it took me so long to leave my last role, because I was 100% emotionally invested. I was 100% all in, and it made it difficult for me to be objective and take a step back and say it's time to move on because it's no longer serving me. And it will definitely happen. I was actually, and this is a story time for another day, but I was diagnosed with PTSD when I left my role. And I say all that to say that emotional detachment is super important, especially if you are in a toxic environment, in a toxic role. So keep that in mind as I'm telling you and sharing that consistency and constancy are important, but that means in what you're doing maybe to get out of that environment. So if you're looking to get out, and y'all know I talk about this a lot, the side hustle and making sure you're building something for yourself, you got to show up every day. So it's not like, oh, I'm just going to write this one article and that's going to float me out of my current situation. Obviously, you have to show up every single day. You have to be consistent. You have to keep cranking. You have to keep grinding. And while, hustle culture does get frowned upon, and to each their own, and I think that's perfectly fine and okay, but at a certain level, if you're serious about being an entrepreneur and having a business for yourself, there is a level of hustle that you need to do. There is a level of grinding that you need to do in order to get to that next level. You're not going to be able to be passive about it. You're not going to be, okay, well, I'm just going to clock in a little bit here, a little bit there. At some point, yes, you can absolutely get to the point where you can take days off, where if you don't want to do work one day or maybe take vacation, yes, absolutely. But be mindful that when you're first building the house, it's not just, okay, I'm gonna just put one brick down and then I'm gonna come back to it in a couple of days. That's not how that works. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the foundation, and the way to do that requires work. You're gonna have to put in some elbow grease. That's just factual, and if anyone's telling you different, they're not being honest. That's just reality. So show up for yourself. Be consistent with yourself in whatever it is you're trying to do. I've, shared with some of you may know this because I have a whole playlist called Fast With Me, and I am fasting every week of 2025. And I have done so consistently since January of this year because I made a commitment to be consistent and to show up for myself. And you will see, once you start showing up for yourself in one area, you will see how that spills over into other areas. And that is what I'm seeing for myself. I'm seeing how me showing up in one area motivates me to show up in other areas. It motivates me to show up in every single area of my life. So how can I say I want to be consistent and I want to push and I want my book on the New York Times bestseller list and I want to be out of corporate this year, yet I'm not doing everything I can to get healthy and to lose weight? That's inauthenticity. Me coming to work and not sharing every detail of my life is not being authentic. It's protecting my peace. It's protecting my essence. That is very different from me saying, okay, yeah, I put up this one persona, but over here, I'm something different. So that is what I mean when I say show up for yourself, be consistent. Even when your boss is getting on your nerves or they're doing things that are shady and shifty, don't be that person. You decide and choose to be different. You decide that you're going to be better and you're going to rise above that. And I know it is trust me. Y'all know that I know it's difficult. It is. I talk about so many stories in my book, so many. But anyway, the point is, I know it is difficult. So I'm not telling you that you're going to snap your fingers and suddenly, everything has arrived or turned in your favor. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, for as much as you can and as often as you can, don't stoop to their level because they will 100% use that against you. And so that is why I really talk about playing the game. This is why I talk about it, because the rules are not the same. We cannot bring our whole selves to work and have the same level of respect and given the same leeway that our counterparts are given, because the rules are different for us. They just are. And I just want all of us to be mindful of that. And I want us to move better and differently because we know that to be the case. And while, some might say, oh, well, you've got to play the game and we should reject that. We can't. If you want to be successful in corporate America, you have to play the game. That's just a reality. Either you're playing the game or it's playing you. It's really one of two things. And so what I want us to do as Black women is to move differently, is to be strategic and to actually play the game on our own terms. And we can absolutely do that. We can absolutely play the game on our own terms, but we have to be willing to first acknowledge that there is a game. We start there. And that is, fun fact, rule number 1 in my book. But we'll get into that. What I would love for you to do for yourself is to download my unspoken rules. I talk about that in detail. I will also make sure to put that link in the description. So if you're not listening to this on YouTube, go to YouTube and check out the links in there. I obviously can do links on these other platforms, but really quick, what I'm talking about is the unspoken rules of corporate America. So if you visit my website, delnickmedia.com, and do a search for the unspoken rules, you will find what I'm talking about. But the easiest thing to do is just go to YouTube and grab the link from the description, because I will 100% put the link in the description. I'll see if I can put the link. Maybe I can actually do the link in Spotify and others. I'll give that a shot. So check the description for this episode for the unspoken rules of corporate America. I want all of us to win. That really is my mission. I want all of us to win. Point blank, period. It is not about me trying to get mine, and it's not about me trying to be successful. I want all of us to be successful. And honestly, my motto and belief is that if I can help one Black woman out of their current situation, if I can make things better for one Black woman or help them avoid some of the pitfalls that I went through, then I will have accomplished my mission. I, of course, want to help more than just one Black woman, but I need to know that at least one Black woman was helped other than myself by sharing what I shared, because I truly believe in it. So please do check out the unspoken rules of corporate America. I'm going to break it all the way down for you. And also I'm going to offer not just this like a short rundown. I'm actually going to go more in depth. So if you go ahead and download the rules, I'll also share with you on a day by day. I'm going to walk through every single rule that I talk about in my book. Just go ahead and download the primer, the cheat sheet is what I call it. Download that, and then let's walk through it together. You'll spend 7 days with me, maybe 8, because I think the first time I just, send you a little note like to welcome you, and you and I will spend 7 days together. And I'm going to break down these 7 rules for you because they are real. They are real, and you probably have heard them before. You're going to be like, oh my God, yes, I've heard of this. I just took what I had seen over my entire corporate life and said, yeah, there are some universal rules that are happening for Black women in corporate America, and we need to talk about it. So please go ahead and download those rules, and I'm gonna break them all down to you. I'm gonna help you tap into your power. One of the things that, and I know I talk about my publicist all of the time, but look, she's amazing. Okay, so I'm not going to apologize. So one of the things that Nantale Mwange of Black Girl PR, if you don't know, get to know. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. But one of the things my kick-ass, yes, I said it. One of the things my kick-ass publicist, we were having a conversation last week. Last week we were having a conversation, and we kind of went through my first podcast interview and how all that went, and we're talking about some of the things that I shared. And she was like, I noticed that you said that you want to help Black women build a bridge in corporate America. I was like, yeah. And she was like, Nicole, you are the bridge. I'm like, huh? But it just kind of took me aback. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So yes, the bridge is me. I am the bridge. And sometimes, like for me, y'all have to understand my upbringing and the way I was raised and the things that I dealt with. Me leaning into my confidence and my worth and my value is very new for me. And so I talk about things sometimes and I don't realize that what I'm providing is something, not that because I don't believe, it's like sometimes you don't realize what your worth is. And it just really made me kind of take stock of the fact that the things that I am building and sharing are bridging that gap, because there is a gap. There is a gap. And there are things that we are not taught, especially when we're stepping into corporate America. And so all of the things that I'm sharing, the book, the cheat sheet, all of the posts that I do, whether it's on LinkedIn, on my blog, wherever it is, the bottom line is I want you to have advantages. This is, to me, it's not like, oh, well, I learned this after facts, I'm just keep it to myself. No, that is not the goal or the mission. The mission is to help one other person be better off because you shared with them things you wish that had been shared with you, or things that maybe you didn't know until after the fact. So the goal should always be to help someone be in a better position or get to a better position by sharing what you know. And that's really what I want to do, and why I wrote the book, and why I'm so passionate about it, and why I keep talking about it, why I created an entire podcast around Black women in corporate America, because we need all the help we can get, okay? And that's why it's super important to me. And so it just really touched me to hear about myself in that context, because I do forget sometimes, and it's easy to take for granted. You're doing all this work, and it's easy to, because you're in it, to take for granted the impact and to see the impact. And I want you to never lose sight of that, to realize that you have value, that you have power, you are worth it. Even if no one else tells you that, you need to know that you're worth it. And that's why, again, bet on yourself. I talked about that last week. I'm never not going to talk about that. That's why you invest in yourself. That's why you take stock and you do what you need to do, whether it's, additional classes if you feel you need them, but you already have all the tools. I know you do, because you're an overachieving Black woman just like me. So I already know you're already ahead of the game. So I just want to help you get there faster. If I can help you get there faster by showing you some of the pitfalls that I saw, some of the things that I wish I had clocked at before, not after the fact, I'm happy to do that. So I've said a lot today, but I think I still kept it roughly to my 20-ish, 30-ish minute goal. I thank you all for joining me today. I know I shared a lot, but I really this is what was on my heart. Y'all know that I base it on whatever's on my spirit, that's what we're going to talk about. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Please keep showing up for yourself. I'm going to keep showing up. And that's just the bottom line, is because I know what happens when I show up for myself, great things happen. And when you show up for yourself, great things can happen too. That's just all it is. No secret formula other than showing up for yourself. So let's continue to show up for ourselves together, for each other. This is a group project, y'all. I know that it may not seem like it, but it is a group project. And the sooner we start supporting each other, the further we will go and the faster we'll get there. So that's my little mini sermon for today, I guess. I hope this was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get in the habit of reminding y'all. Please go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and share. Go ahead and hit the bell so you get notified when the next episode drops. And join me again, because, I'm out here doing the thing. This is episode number, I don't put myself on the spot. I think this is episode number 14. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. With confidence, and see what happens. All right, guys, please take care of yourselves. Until next time, take care.